Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Walls podcast. Here, a part of the National Arena League's off-season tour of our team. So today's episode's actually I'm looking forward to this episode. We had him already on before with a schedule release. Now we're going to get deep inside what is going on with the Salina Liberty and much, much more. From player signings to golf tournaments to player tryouts to upcoming events and so much more. But welcome to another edition of the show here on Inside the Walls podcast. Remember, visit all things National Arena League at thenationalarenaleague.com. Visit us on all social media platforms at NAL on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, Facebook as well. Remember, to the fans out there, go check out all 9 organizations to get your tickets now. A lot of tickets are available now for the 2026 season. And of course, the schedule is out. We are popping out some great games, including one of the most historic franchises in the industry, which is our Salina Liberty. Well, no further ado, this show is dedicated to the Liberty, so Liberty fans chime in, send the questions to the head man himself, because apparently now he's a professional golfer. You can add that to it. Me and him were joking all behind scenes about the temperature differences where I live and where he lives, and now I can't complain about that because of where I live. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, no further ado, here is Coach O of your Salina Liberty.
How you doing? Thanks again for having me on.
Coach, this is the second time, so you're becoming a recurring guest. We might have to add you as a co-host here on the show. See how many times you've joined. But first off, you've been a busy man, a lot of traveling, especially a certain golf tournament that just looks like was very successful. But how's everything going, Coach?
It's going well. There's a lot of work being put in behind the scenes to get that golf tournament up and going. I think this is the 8th season of doing it. I remember the first year we did it, it was around 6 or 7 teams. This year we had, I think it was 42 or 44 teams, 4-man teams. So we've definitely grown as an organization. The foundation was laid, many, many years ago, and we're kind of starting to build on it, so to say. We've done really well on the field. We're starting to do well off the field. This tournament is just a great example of what this organization has come from and what it's going to be. And as we continue to prosper in this thing we call indoor football, it's never an easy realm. It's a lot of moving pieces. And I just want to give a shout out to all our owners because they basically put all of that together. We have 6 owners, and they basically get the different people from around town, different sponsors, different people that want to help the Liberty stay prosperous there in Salina to get this tournament going. Definitely want to thank the VFW for providing the food for us. That was really good. We had tacos, and there was plenty of it, a lot of good eating there, a lot of fun. It was good to see a lot of the people because I've been gone since end of June, beginning of July, so I hadn't seen a lot of people for a while. So it was good to check in, pop in, but it was a lot of work. And I know, I had to be there at like 7 a.m. for this whole golf thing, and then I had to be at the open workouts. I had to be there at 8, and then I had a plane to catch on Sunday that I left at 6:45 a.m. So it was very, very early mornings to put this work in, but it definitely paid off in the end.
Well, we were discussing behind the scenes. You didn't know the terminology about the teams and how many teams. So it was a shotgun start. Every team started, but the support you said you had for the golf tournament. How many sponsors were a part of this golf tournament, especially for the Liberty itself?
It was at least 40, because some people had more than one team. So it was just really good just to see from just the people on the golf course, but we also had sponsors that, donated door prizes as well. So basically, I like to say a special shout out to all of the sponsors that took place in it and every capacity in which they did, from the gifts that they had, from volunteering their time to be there, for everybody. They had hole sponsors. They had different events at each hole, different things. And like I said, my owners were out there, working, sweating, getting things done as well. So it's a different type deal there in Salina, which I love. Is it's most owners, they write the check and they sit in a meeting and hey, we need to do this, and somebody else usually does it. But these guys are blue collar. They're out there working, setting up things, had the beer cart going around. It was very, very interactive with our fans. Our owners are like that. All of our owners live in the community. You can see the self pride that they have about the city, about the state of Kansas. It was a huge, huge event. It's continuing to grow each and every year. So I just want to take this time to thank our owners for doing what they were doing out there. We had Mike McCoy, our GM, was out there. He was doing his thing. Sam Sellers, he was doing his thing out there. He's our director of football operations. Mike McCoy is our GM. It was all hands on deck. So it was really cool to see everybody. And I also want to thank the players that came out there to help out and do some photo ops. Tracy Brooks was one who's been with us pretty much the longest of any player that we have. He's our former MVP. Running back. He could play any position, actually. So I definitely want to thank him. Travis Taylor is another guy that's been there just as long as I've been there. He lives in the community, works in the community. Pretty cool to have, guys like that. Kerry Starks was there, had his jersey on, was ready for any and all, helped move tables, take photo ops, and things of that nature. We also had Honeycutt, which is one of our players that we had from last year that's moving on, but he still will always be a Salina Liberty. So I want to say a special shout out to him. Pretty close guy that I know that, always helps. He bleeds Salina blue until he plays for another team, but he's definitely always has a home there in Salina. It was just cool to see everybody there and working hard to get everything done and making sure our owners had the help and support that they needed because they put the hard work in, which is all the organization of all of that.
So it sounds like it was a very successful event. Um,
Absolutely.
I don't want to ask about your score at the event because
It
uh,
wasn't, put it this way, I wasn't on any team with my shoulder surgery. I've had 3 shoulder surgeries. I only have like 80% use of my left arm. So once that happened, I really can't swing the clubs like I used to. I did chip a couple. That's about as far as I'm going. I'm not doing any driving or anything like that. But it was cool to get with some of the fans, and they say, "Hey, just take a chip shot here," and I did pretty good on that. I hadn't picked up a golf club in probably since the first one, and so 8 years ago. So pretty cool to actually do that and interact with our fans because that's what it's all about. Without our fans, we have nothing. Without the great city of Salina supporting us for an event like this, as well as our football team when we're out in the community, when we're at the schools and doing reading programs at the schools and things of that nature. Without them, we have nothing. So it was good to give back and the door prizes. You could see everybody getting excited to get that Salina Liberty gear, as well as some of our sponsors had some gear and things up there, and it was just a great outing. We had a great day. It was 80, 82, 83 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, a light breeze, so it wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, so it was perfect. So had a lot of fun, and definitely want to just say thank you for the city of Salina again.
well, I know there was other events that popped up. You also had a tryout this past weekend. How many players showed? How was the vibe? And did you guys add a player from this tryout?
We had a good turnout. The thing was, we had a lot of. It was one tryout that I will say that we didn't have a bad player that actually showed up. Because sometimes you get guys where you like, really, you can't do this. But every single player that showed up and left us with a lot of tough decisions. Coach Hampton was there. He flew in from Chicago. So it was good to have that help out there. But we did have a great showing. We'll be announcing some of that stuff later on here in the next few weeks. But it was a great turnout. It was a success. Got some local flair there. So I can't wait to let those players have their day.
Well, speaking of events, is there any upcoming more community events for the city, for your organization over the next couple of weeks?
Well, we have our Zoom call next Thursday. That's when we'll discuss the next one that we're working on. I know our owners are always Dan Mendocino, the president of the ownership group, is always working on something.
Mhm.
So definitely knowing we definitely like to stay in the community, try to do things for the community. So just I'll say stay tuned. Stay tuned to the Salina Liberty, all of our social medias. We definitely should be announcing something soon. And I know season tickets should be going on sale by Thanksgiving. I know we're in the final phases of that. I know that for sure. That was something that was talked about a lot. I talked with Mike McCoy just yesterday, I think, on some of the final pieces that we needed to get everything squared away. So I'm hoping, by Thanksgiving, I'm thinking it'd probably be even before that. So stay tuned on our social medias, not only for, the players that we're announcing that we're signing, as well as our schedule, but also for, our season tickets getting ready to go on sale.
Speaking about season tickets, your schedule is out, of course, and it kicks off at home on March 14th. So, Coach, I know if you look at a schedule, there's some familiar names from familiar. We talked about it earlier in a couple weeks ago on the schedule release show. Everyone knows the matchups, but renewing nine of those matchups and see what all the coaches are doing right now with some transaction of some players. I think the question is to you is, has the excitement for certain teams changed like than just a couple of weeks ago, or what as an organization are you pushing forward to get ready for that first game against an NAL opponent?
Well, the thing that we always do, we focus ourselves on what we can control, which is our players. Um, we're diligently away recruiting, signing ball players that fit our scheme, that fit our culture. It's the thing we say is the Liberty way, and that's passed down from our ownership group. And I basically inspire our players to live by that. I hold them accountable when they don't live by that code. Um, the thing I'm looking forward to is just getting back to football. Off season for me is tough because I'm not on a, how can you say, daily interaction with my ball players. That's the piece that I love the most. But it is a lot of things that I do in the off season to keep me, ready to go. And recruiting is one. I mean, everybody thinks it's so easy to recruit and you just tell them about yourself and people just sign. That's not how it goes. So um, we're in a new league. That's the piece that I'm the most excited about, getting an opportunity to be in the NAL. I've seen it from afar, never was in it. The thrill of just being in a new league, I think, is what's gotten me, renewed that. Because now that I've gotten home for a few months now to recharge that battery, I'm almost there. So it's like just recruiting. Recruiting is what we're focused on right now. We're getting Mike McCoy and myself are getting the fine tuning pieces of report dates and things of that nature. So we're worrying more so about ourselves. We're not really worried about any football team. We know they're all going to be good opponents. I mean, you can see from what they've done, even last year and from other leagues. So I know the competition level is going to be very, very high. The stakes are going to be very high. But we keep it simple in Salina. We want to win a championship. That's our ultimate goal. We want to have home field throughout the championship, playoff run. Those are the things that it never changes, and we're trying to promote players to the next level. I mean, speaking of, Tyree Adams was one of our last ones that we had move up from our organization. He's the backup quarterback for Ottawa, if I'm not mistaken. He's still there. So just renewed his contract there. So this is a perfect example of why I got in it. 65 players have signed contracts in my programs through my 20 years of coaching to play in leagues like that. The NFL, CFL, XFL, USFL, UFL. So that's what I'm really more so in it. The competition thing, that blood starts going once I actually get to Salina, into February. That's when you started to ratchet up, because if you try to ratchet up right now with 3 to 4 months before February, you'll be worn down by then. So I use different vices to get me through the offseason. I have plenty of, I'm not only just the head coach, offensive coordinator, and assistant GM. So just working with Mike McCoy as well as our ownership group to do those duties as well. Working with sponsors and things of that nature keeps me very, very busy.
You're so far been a busy man. Of course, recruiting. It's almost feel when fans go recruiting in professional football. Was this college? Well, actually, you go like, is college now professional? Seeing that they're now doing similar things, but you did bring some key talented players back. I have a couple slides of the guys. I want you to introduce the players that you have brought on to the 2026 version of the Salina Liberty.
Well, we started off basically with guys that had been there either last year or from previous years. Fast Ed is a guy that he's been doing it for a very, very long time. Ed Smith, he lives there in the community. A big part of what we do offensively as well as special teams. Very, very happy to have him as one of the most electrifying players in no matter what league that he plays in. Just happy to have him, on board. Jarvo is the guy that played for us. I think he played the first 4 games. Then he got injured, and then he'll be back playing defensive line. He can play pretty much anything. That's why you see athlete on there. He can play receiver. The funny thing about him is he was a receiver in college. So all the different things that he brings to the table, special teams wise as well, is huge. Travis Taylor has been with me personally longer than any player that I've ever had. He's been with me even when I was the coach down there in Dodge, the D coordinator. So to have Travis back, former NFL ball player, played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, to have that leadership back on our defensive line and linebacker is huge, very, very huge. Wayne Ballhawk Archery, super happy to have him back, a supreme leader, and arguably one of our most popular players that we have there. He does a lot of dirty work that a lot of people don't really even understand. And I'm not to say he's an enforcer or anything, but when it's time to say the tough things, he doesn't mind saying it. A true leader, and he has, I think, almost 65 or so interceptions. So he definitely coming back to try to get 70 this year, getting him back at his more natural position of playing in that secondary. Kerry Starks was first team All-League linebacker last year. He'll be playing D-line, defensive end. He could play nose guard, defensive end, linebacker, lone snap. He could do a lot of different things for us. He's actively right there in Salina. He's a school teacher as well as a football coach. I think he does track as well, and I think he also does wrestling. So is a guy that is always actively in the community. He also has a program where he does pass rushing drills and things of that nature there as well. So to have him back was huge, to give us that national feel, because he is, the last time he played in the NAL, he was the defensive player of the year. So to have him back is big for us. I think that's Okiki that's there on that last one there. He's a guy that actually played pretty much every position for us on that offensive line. A guy that, as I got to know him, he's a practical joker. He's always got something going. He always got me smiling. A very, very skilled player, a jack of all trades. He could do a lot of different things, and he's an ultimate team player. It's never a selfish thing about him. He's always wanting to do whatever it takes to get a win. Now we get into some of the newer guys. Can't really see it as good as I need to see it there, but I think Evan is one of them here to the left. He's a guy that, we're recruiting. He'll be new to Salina. He was in Albany last year, and then he went and played in Europe for basically the past 14 to 16 months almost. So he's coming back to America. He's just getting back to America. Very, very excited about what he brings to the table. 6'4", 205 pounds, can throw any ball you want. A dual threat quarterback that can get it done. And he's gotten it done on every level that he's been in, including high school. Even though I'm not going to take it against him, he did beat my Chicago Mount Carmel team his senior year to knock us out of the state playoffs. So I don't hold that against him. Then it looks like that's Luis Gonzalez. He played for us, I think, the first 2 games, and he got banged up. He'll be coming back. He played running back for us. Is a bigger running back that has very, very nimble feet, can catch the ball out the backfield, can line up at receiver. He's also great on special teams, on kickoff return, and he also can be on the field goal team there as that personal protector as well. I can't see the one all the way here. Want to come here, Mish? Look at this last one and see who this is.
Dustin?
Okay, yeah, Dustin. So Dustin is a guy that's going to be new to our team. He played a little bit with Quad City. Can play all positions. Looked at his college film. It was crazy the things that he was able to do. Just knowing that he's hungry to get back on that field, to get the opportunity to play indoor football, to get back out there and throw some bodies around. He's a very, very hands-on type of guy. He's very physical. He's very technically sound too. So he's definitely, we got a lot of guys that came back from that offensive line, but he's definitely going to push for them to come in shape, be ready to go, because he's coming to play some football and he's a headbanger. I definitely love what he brings to the table. Okay, these are two new D tackles right here, and I kind of lumped them both together because they're both rookies here. They are guys that never played, indoor football, but just looking at their college film, we loved it. Coach Hampton seen it, fell in love with them from the first time he seen them. They signed fairly quickly once Coach Hampton got a hold of them, just eager for the opportunity to showcase their skills in this indoor football, to try to get themselves to the NFL, CFL, UFL. Those are the things that we're trying to do, bring in, the golden oldies that we've had before, but we also got some new blood that people are going to love. And when you see these guys get after that pass rush, and you see these two right here, the way they can stuff the run and be physical on that front, I can't wait to see them in camp against our guys. And I know the league is definitely going to be put on high alert once those guys get out there and do what they do, and what they've shown so far.
Well, we've had a couple of questions. You have some fans chiming in. Just go Liberty. We had a question from Jonathan Armstrong about how many players are you going to bring back from last year's team to this year's version of the Salina Liberty?
It'll be about 10 players. That's what we usually do. It's anywhere between 8 and 12 usually each year is how that goes. And the thing that I like is the guys that we're bringing back here are guys that want to be here. They embrace, the Liberty way of how we do things. And they come back for unfinished business. We didn't finish the way we needed to finish last year or the year before, this year or last year. So just getting back to Liberty football, we got some veterans that are eager to be those leaders in which we need to have a good football team, because Coach Hampton is new to our coaching tree, so to say. I just hired my O-line, D-line coach today. He just signed, so we'll be making some announcements there. So it's some new blood with some old blood, but you got to have that old blood in there to kind of, run what they say, drive the car, so to say. My best teams are teams that's not just led by me. Obviously, it's from the top, but when players hold other players accountable, that's when you have the foundation in which we laid the Liberty way, understanding what's the right thing to do in all situations. The thing that I always say is it's not about it's about trying to move up to the next level. But what I promise is you'll be a better person. You'll be a better player coming and playing in the organization in which I'm at. And we hold you accountable, though. And it's different. Some players are used to being, coddled and things like that. I'm from the old school, but new school, but I don't do all that coddling. If you do well, we let you know you did well. But if you did wrong, my job is to critique what you put forth on film. So that's not for everyone, especially in this new era of the, NIL and the transfer portal, which you touched on before. Some players aren't getting coached in college anymore. And when they are challenged to be better than what they even think they can be, they run, because they're not used to that. They're used to everybody saying you the best thing since sliced bread. Everybody is here for a reason. Everybody's at this level for a reason. So nobody will be looking down on anyone, and we hold each other accountable. But when you have those vets some of the vets that you just showed right there that's coming back, you'll see them holding people accountable. It makes our jobs as coaches a whole lot easier. So it's just great to have those guys back.
Well, you touched on, I was going to say, what are you more excited about? Recruiting for your new team, or just get into the field and start coaching and see what type of players you have?
Well, now that recruiting is pretty much over, it's getting back to, it's like, to me, when you recruit,
Mhm.
the first day of training camp is like Christmas. You open up your present. So
Right.
I can't wait for that. And now, I mean, it's like a 3-4 month wait or whatever, but that's what I'm waiting on right now. I'm waiting to, unwrap and tear open my gift, and hopefully it's as advertised, as you always pray and wish for. But the thing that you really don't know, you do a little background check on all of the guys, but you don't really know exactly what you get until you get to training camp and see if they can do the things in which we ask them to do, and do it in the manner we teach it.
Mhm.
Um, but that's the piece that, I'm looking forward to that. But it's a lot of work to be done between now and then with Mike McCoy and myself and the ownership group, to make sure when they get there, everything is set up for them. The hotels, making sure that the food is taken care of for these guys, because you got to feed them. Um, Things of that nature. We have workout facilities that we have for the guys. It's a lot, orientation. We have physicals, to get set and things. So it's a lot of work that a lot of people just think, well, once you're done recruiting, you don't do anything for the rest of the year.
Mhm.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. You got to keep these guys interested for 4 more months. We start our Zooms with our ball players, going through the playbook and things of that nature. So it's a lot of work that's still yet to come, to keep you kind of occupied, that you don't think so much about
Yeah.
opening gifts. But for some of these guys, I'm very, very interested to see how they compare with the guys. That's the chemistry piece, to see what blends together.
Mhm.
That's the piece that I love the most about training camp. But we got a long time to go before then, though.
Well, we got a good question in the chat. Brings up, for you being from arena style for the last 2 years and going back to indoor, having winning championships in the environment. How can you see your team matching up this year with this version of the National Arena League?
Well, like I said, I know what my goal is. I have no clue how is it going to all match up until we actually start playing games. Um, I'll say this here: I have a better answer once we play a couple games, because each team is different. You may think you're going to be a strong defense, and turn around and your offense is stronger. You may think you have a great special teams. You find out you don't have a good special teams. The games are going to be indicative to really truly answer that question factually. I know I have the coaching staff and the ownership group to do it. We have to blend the different talents and personalities together of this football team to really answer that question.
Well, for your coaching career, no matter what stop you've been to, you consistently put your teams in postseason position. And getting to the dance is half the battle, but you know how to win in the dance. So I think I know that's the build up the team. Be competitive, get in the playoffs, and let the chips fall as they may when you get in the postseason.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been in the playoffs out of my 20 years, 19 of my 20, I've been in the playoffs. So,
That's impressive.
and I do. Since I've been in Salina, 7 years. This would be my 8th year coming back for the
Mhm.
2026 season. 7 years in a row to the semifinals, 4 national title games with a championship win, national championship win in 2022. So we've done a lot of winning there in Salina, but a lot of that goes to my ownership group. They give me everything I need to be successful on as well as off the field. They make sure the amenities are what they need to be for our ball players. So I'm just the face of it. But like I said, our ownership group are working diligent every day. It's something that they're doing to try to put us a little bit better. Like we always say, we want to be 2% better each day. And if we have that goal and we hit it, we can continue to be as successful as we've been. But the thing I'm happy about, we're not just successful on the field, we're successful off the field. We hit more schools than we ever hit last year. So we're starting to gain that momentum of what I'm trying to get to. Getting Mike McCoy involved as our general manager, he taught me how to be a GM way back in, I think it was 2013, 2014, when I was there with the Colorado Crush and Colorado Ice. I'm very, very excited to finally get to work with him, to see, his secret sauce. I mean, he's a brilliant man. He's been around for a very, very long time in a lot of different leagues and had success at every stop he's ever been at. So I'm very excited to continue to work with him and learning more and more things each and every day. And, that the way that he does the group sales for the games, you will see an increase in fans there in Salina. We did a really good job these previous 2 years, but I think it's really getting ready to explode, especially with the program in which he's putting in place right now. And it's just the infant stages of what he's building. So I'm just definitely happy with the ownership group of the people that they brought back, the people that they hired on, and I'm ecstatic that they gave me the opportunity to get some help out here with my new defensive coordinator, Jermaine Hampton, which is not just a coach. He's a friend of mine. I've known him. I met him when he was at Northern Illinois. He was a teammate of my brother, and I've been a friend of his for a very long time. And just super, super happy to finally get a chance to work with him. He's been a head coach in other leagues, and he's been D coordinator in different leagues. So to finally have him on my side, I'm very excited. And then, like I said, we'll be announcing our new O and D-line coach here, hopefully here by the end of the week. And just happy that our ownership group has helped me out with all the visual aids, as well as the aid they've given me to be successful.
Well, hold on there, Coach. We'll be back after this short message, and we'll get into some intriguing conversation of what's coming down the road for the Salina Liberty. Speaking of NALshop.com, remember you can get your Salina Liberty gear right now at NALshop.com. Have you visited there, Coach? All the gear, all the merch. What are you thinking? What's the vibe? Boy,
I love it. I got a shirt from the league. It has like a skull, and then it has our logo in the eyes. So I wore that to our golf tournament, and I mean, it was a hit. And they was like, "Well, what can I get that?" And I was like, "Well, it's not out just yet." So hopefully, really shortly, we'll have that stuff going. And it's that time of year for merchandise, and we're getting ready to be, doing some stocking stuffers here. We're about a month away from doing that. So perfect time to mention that. Brandon has done an incredible job with all the merchandise that he has, the different ideas in which he's bringing, when it comes to merchandise, but more so just even the different ideas of what he's bringing to the table as leadership in the NAL. Just got a chance to just talk with them and get to know him, just picking his brain of what the man is, and just very, very intrigued with him. Very, very energetic. He's very hungry to leave his mark in indoor football. He has a lot of self-pride in what he brings to the table. He's already been a successful businessman. This is a different venture for him, but you can see he really, really cares about the direction he works. I mean, you can see it each week on those meetings we have. He's very in tune. He's got 2-3 different computer screens going. He's typing and doing his thing, and he's always, chatting and making sure we're doing the right stuff. So I think we're headed in the right direction, especially with him as our leader.
He's been working overtime, and I hint that there are some interesting items on NALshop.com, some mini versions of helmets. And I think those are out, and I think there's one for Salina, if I'm correct, Coach.
Yeah, and they're en route from what I'm hearing. So I can't wait to, sport that and make sure. I mean, it's definitely that. Again, you got little kids out there. You can bring that helmet to the game, come down after the game, get it signed by all of the ball players. That's a great idea that he came up with, and I know for sure. There in Salina with all the kids that we have at those games, that's going to be a huge hit for us. So definitely go online, check that out. I mean, I know that's going to be an item that's going to go pretty quickly there in Salina, because they love the helmets, but this one's unique. It's smaller, miniature one, but to get the signatures on it as well, once you come to the game, I think it'd be great for those young kids.
And also, I think there's more reveals coming down the pipe. We won't give you all the reveals yet, but it's something big for Salina that I think honestly, Coach, it should be you guys and your organization have the right to do that reveal, not me. I'm just a podcaster that just covers a league. Okay. But I do know one thing: mini helmets are like not just kids buy them. By the way, not just kids.
Oh yeah, grown people.
Grown.
They put them in cases. Is what the grown folks, they put them in cases, have them all autographed, them glass cases. So it's like almost like a trophy, so to say. I know sponsors love them. It's a conversation piece. So it's going to be a huge hit. Once they see it, I can't wait to, get that unveiled and let the public get a chance to take a look at it. Take a look at the new merchandise. It's got a fresh new feel about it. It's different. It's exciting times going on in the NAL. Exciting times going in Salina. Just headed in the right direction.
Well, Coach, this is your chance to tell the fans where they can contact you guys to get intrigued about tickets, season tickets, single game tickets, any updated events, where they can follow you guys on social media. This is your time to shine.
Well, definitely, you check us out on all of our social medias. If you go to our Facebook page, Salina Liberty, our Facebook page, you can inbox message about any and all. Even if we still have some space available. They're going pretty quick, but for sponsorships, that we take the message, we get a rep out to you and get that handle for you as well. So season tickets should be on sale by Thanksgiving, I know for sure. So stay close to all of our social media once that's unveiled. I know when I was there was a lot of people asking like, hey, when are they going on sale? And they'll definitely be on sale by Thanksgiving. I think it's going to be way earlier than that, but that's just a tease for everybody to take a look and check in, and also look at our social media page for all of our players that we're signing. And some of them are new, some of them are older, but it's just good, a perfect blend of what we're trying to do. But when those tickets come out, let's fill the house. Let's have everybody there. Let's have everybody in Salina, McPherson, Fort Hays, all of these spots. We've reached out now. It's a 100-mile radius from Salina that we have sponsors now. And if we have sponsors there, we definitely got people that's coming to the games as well. And it seemed like each year it started off with a 5-mile radius. Now it's a 100-mile radius. So we're open to a lot of different things, going to different schools, reading programs and such. So definitely hit us on our Salina Liberty Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok. We have all of that. So definitely looking forward to hearing from you guys soon.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the episode for the Salina Liberty. And next week we head to Colorado, the Punisher side of the Colorado War, next Tuesday night, as we'll get in depth of what's going on in Pueblo next week. Coach, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege of you having you coming on the show. I guarantee you're going to be on the show multiple times throughout the season as we progress to the season. Hopefully, when you come on the show next time, you're in positive moods, because that'd be actually probably during the season. I don't want the mean, mad coach coming on the show.
No, I'm always keeping the best. I know how to have a little bit of a poker face. It's not a great win, but I have a little bit of a poker face.
I have a good poker face. I just lose all the time because I'm bad at poker.
There you go. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jim Renier, and this is Coach Joe for the Salina Liberty. We'll be back next Tuesday for another edition of Inside the Walls podcast here, a part of the National Arena League.